What up, TikTok? Hey, hope everybody's having a great Friday. Hey, don't let anything that's negative in your life dictate the rest of your life. Does that make sense? Hey, we all go through some hard times. We all go through some emotional stressors, maybe at work, maybe at home, whatever it may be. Don't let that dictate who you are and how you react to the rest of the things that life throws at you. Does that make sense? Like if you're feeling pissed off and angry all morning or all day, you're going to take that energy and you're going to present it to everybody else that surrounds you, your loved ones, your soldiers, whoever it may be. You're going to use that negative energy and it's just going to make everything worse. Try to be positive. Pick something positive in life that's going really well. Use that positive energy and let that dictate the rest of your day. We can harp on the negatives. We can harp on the bad things that are going on in life. It's not going to help us. It's not going to help us move forward. Stay strong, keep pushing, drive on. Happy Friday.
What's up, Trash Talkers? Hitting you up this morning with a special promo on how to dress when you are doing PT in civilians, but you want everybody to know you're an Army. This comes from the Buddy Beckwith fashion design of how to work out. So first, you can notice the RI panties. Not Ranger panties, but Ranger instructor panties. The green socks, the knee brace for the old guys. Don't forget the M frames. Now the shirt, don't wear the Trash Talk shirt while you're running. This is just for the promo. You want to put on like an 80-second shirt or like your favorite airborne shirt so everybody knows that you're a veteran. That's the most important thing. And you start with this stretch. Buddy Beckwith taught me this one. Ready to go.
So, I'm walking out of the gas station and my co-worker, who's an old MP, but we still claim him, and has engaged the man in conversation. Not much for conversation with strangers, but he's got the tab. So, as I walk by, I say airborne, and the man responds with, and I quote, "Hoorah." So, after I instructed my co-worker to slash every single tire before he put the car in gear, I looked for the biggest rock. As I crow hop to throw it through his back window so he can stop posing as one of us, I actually wake up and realize that the man's ignorance had incapacitated me for a moment, and I was daydreaming. I mean, because in that moment you got two options. I chose the third option and said, "Incorrect. That's an incorrect response." And I kept walking. The man said nothing and he pulled away. So you tell me, what is it, a stolen valor thing? No Marine's gonna have an airborne tab, and no paratrooper's gonna say "hidden hoorah." So you tell me, stolen valor?
Hey y'all, I'm going to work. I left you a note on the refrigerator. I love y'all. I'm gonna go.
Hey, go get dressed. Get ready for school.
You're doing great. I was tooling around, tooling along. Shit! Bad guy! Stop!
Let me break it down Barney style.
Today's show is brought to you by the Farkas Group at the Veterans Mortgage Source. Are you looking for a team you can trust for your mortgage needs? The Farkas Group is our trusted partner on the podcast. I served with Zach, and he will definitely give you the best rate possible. Their goal is to educate veterans across the country on their earned VA home loan benefit. If you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, reach out to these guys for competitive rates or any information you may need on obtaining a VA mortgage for your property. They are licensed in multiple states. If they are not licensed in the state that you live in, they will still give you the advice that you need and the rates you should be looking for.
On everybody, happy Saturday. What's up, Trash Talkers, and what is up, Gruntworks community? Welcome to episode 55 of the Trash Talk Hour. Shout out to our sponsors, Zach Farkas with Veterans Mortgage Source and 10th Mountain Whiskey. Type in VTT, get yourself a discount. Special guest today is Koz from WTF Nation Radio. And today I'm joined by Nick and Joe. So Buddy is not here today. And,
Balls deep in a model.
I don't know what's going on, but after thousands of swipes on Tinder, I think he finally found his match. He's balls deep in something, right, Nick? I don't know.
I thought he was on Bumble.
His text message was full of smiley faces and happy faces and heart emojis. So you know,
I think the
remodel.
Yeah,
I think the remodel might be so he's actually
it might be
inside the house this time.
Congratulations, buddy! Congratulations, buddy! We love you. Have fun.
Be safe. In a house.
Yeah.
Over to you,
Wrap
Joe.
it up. All right, Joe. No pressure. No pressure. Buddy's gone. You got to carry the show now.
Woo! I'm not feeling the weight. All right.
Yeah.
So you asked me what has me triggered every week. So newsflash, drove through Ohio. It still sucks. I got to Michigan and they lifted the mask mandate. They knew what was up.
And your internet sucks.
And your internet sucks out there in Michigan. So I'm pretty sure what Joe was going to say is that everything from Ohio sucks, except for when they beat Michigan in the war over Toledo. But keep going. No.
Can you hear me? You got me?
Now we got you. Yeah, we got you. Can you hear me now? Get rid of Verizon.
I got you good. But
like an amateur hour over here.
I'm not shooting from my home base. All right, I'm playing away from home. Relax.
At least the neighbor is not burning down in Michigan.
So yeah, very true. So like we always preach, let me know if I start cutting up or something. But like we always preach, walk like you talk. Like be that example. If you wanna change something, get out there and actually put your feet forward and help yourself, and the good things will fall in place. And you know, I talked about it a few shows ago about how look, I'm gonna make a big move coming here soon, and I'm gonna let you guys know I walk like I talk, and I'm betting on myself. And this housing market's brutal. The job I was in wasn't paying me what I was worth, and I refused to accept it. So I bet on myself. The job opportunity fell in line, and I literally last night just went and saw the #1 house on my list.
And at that point, we're going to say that the house was exactly how you wanted it.
And he loved it. Did you love
the house, Joe? Yep. Do you like it? Was stroking the beard a little bit?
What happened?
What do you think happened?
No, did you lose me again?
You went out right at the climax.
Well, I can't do anything about it.
Right? Yeah.
Hey, they rained for 5 days here. There's a storm. But no, so anyways, everything fell in line. I'm just waiting on the deposit to come through. Is it doing it again?
No, you're good.
All right. Hey, let me switch it back to you, and I'm going to call you from a different device.
I appreciate that.
I can't have this going on. Hang on.
Over to you, Nick.
Yeah, over to me. Great. Well, anyways, the Big Earl's here. He's excited because we got Koz on the show now. If you guys don't watch, I know I share it on VTT. I got to start sharing it on Gruntworks maybe. But, the Friday Night Freedom is a pretty awesome and fun show to watch. I usually get on there just to say fuck you to Recruiter Times. That's the only reason I go on there, because
Tons of bitches.
Yeah, they suck. I mean, they're probably cool, but they made one mistake, and it was kind of personal. We all got triggered about it, but I'm over it. Well, not really. Hey, so we got Koz from WTF's Friday Night Freedom. Now, he was supposed to have a guest, Rodney, who was on your show yesterday, correct?
Yes.
So at least people, if you're interested in the Rodney story, you can go check it out there, but promoting some VFW fundraising stuff. So if you want to give him a shout out, that's, the floor will be yours. But yeah, you were a helicopter mechanic, right?
Avionics, yeah.
Avionics. Okay, so were you personally responsible for microwaves sending Blackhawks down?
No, that was just before my time.
Okay, because I heard it was
Blackhawk lawn darts. No.
Yeah, but hey, what is the truth with that? Is it true that the actual microwaves were screwing up the Blackhawks systems?
Way back when there's a lot of EMI, electromagnetic interference, and now that's why all the wires, especially all the important wires, are shielded.
Yeah, very cool. Well, if we were going to make an intro song, which I forgot to do, that's what it would have been, that we found.
And we would have blamed you for it. Yeah,
responsible for all the Blackhawk crashes due to the EMIs, but I wouldn't have said that because I didn't know what that meant at the time. Anyways, Koz, welcome to the Trash Talk Hour. Talk a little bit about your service. What made you join the WTF team, and what's your guys' purpose and all that good stuff. So the floor is yours. Welcome, brother.
Hi, thanks for having me. My name's Koz. I spent 8 years or so in the military from 1988 to 96. I had a slight break in service. I got out after my first 4-year enlistment because I knew everything and I was going to make big bucks working for DynCorp.
There you go.
So So I got out. I made my probationary period, but then everybody got laid off because all the work disappeared. So I was like, well, crap. I'm just going to hang out. There was another, and this was in the Fort Campbell area. So we had a couple of contractors there. DynCorp was big. Lear Siegler was there. So I was just holding out maybe to get a job at Lear Siegler. So I ended up managing a steak restaurant and a pizza place. And I did that for a little while. And I'm like, screw this. And called a recruiter. I'm like, hey, I've still got my uniforms. What'll it take to get me back in? He said, just come down and sign the papers. I was like, all right, let's do this. And I had station of choice, and I actually chose to go to Fort Hood.
So, nice. Were you trying to get? Were you trying to get into like the prostitution ring? Like, did you?
Yeah, wasn't that around the 90s or?
Yeah, that was the 90s.
That was.
I think it's still there.
93,
probably
92, 93 is when I came back in. I did 88 to 92, and then late 92 or early 93 to 96.
So talk about Hood, how it was back then compared to how we're all talking about it now.
I'm so depressed because Fort Hood's got a really bad rap right now. It's called the Great Place, and it was the Great Place. That's probably one of the. I was never at a bad duty station. I never hated the duty station I was at. When I was at Hood, Hood was my first duty station. I was in 6 Cav, and we just
never heard of them.
It was great. It was a lot of fun. We worked hard, we played hard, and I ended up I was there for about a year, and then I got orders to go to Korea. So I went to Korea, got stop lost in Korea.
Ooh, nice.
I was there for 18 months. And I was on orders to go to Fort Lewis. I was excited about going to Fort Lewis, and then of course stop lost. All the orders were canceled. So I went from Korea. I went to Fort Campbell, and I enjoyed Fort Campbell. I never looked back at my last duty station going, man, I really wish I was back there. I just enjoyed where I was stationed. It didn't matter whether it was Korea, Campbell, or Hood. I'm bummed out that Hood's got a bad rap now. I don't know when it started. Killeen's really always been kind of a shithole.
Like any military town, right?
Yeah.
Look at Fayetteville,
Yeah,
Bragg is the best installation back at Bragg.
Liquor stores, tattoo parlors, and bars. Campbell was at 41A. That whole damn street is nothing but bars.
Oh man, yeah, terrible. Yeah, I mean, Bliss is a hidden gem because you got El Paso here, but again, that Dyer Street right outside the base is just like, oh my god, like it's you go 2 more blocks and it's beautiful. But
you could be stationed at Polk. I think that is probably the worst place, right? Just area wise, having literally nothing. Fort Polk.
I gotta go with Koz on that to where it is what you make it. When I sit there as a first sergeant on a board, and I'd be like, hey, what's the best unit you ever been in? And the answer wasn't this one. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like it doesn't matter. Like,
good answer.
Tell us why. Tell us why this isn't the best place. It's like
it's kind of refreshing just to hear somebody with that attitude. Like, man, we had a ball wherever we were at. Some places could have been better than others, but you know what? I don't ever remember having a boring freaking weekend at any of them. Hey, Koz, Nick one time drank an entire bar out of their PBR stock and made them order more on their next shipment. That was that's actually in the books.
That's a Legends Pub on Bragg Boulevard. Check it out.
It was like that scene from Jaws after Nick got done with the first one. They're like, we're gonna need a bigger boat. They were like, man, we're gonna need more PBR.
I think I took out like 30 that night. That was a fun one. But yeah, that was back in the heyday. So Koz, what is the point for those on Gruntworks watching? You got to check out the WTF Radio. Like they have a lot of fun and cool shows. Some of them are pretty, typical, but no, there's a lot just like ours. Some of them are, check the block type things. But Koz, what's the point of your show, and like what do you get out of it?
Oh man, I got divorced in 2014, and then I moved back to Texas from Ohio. I was in the Bowling Green area, Toledo. Moved back. I had a job with lined up with Customs Border Protection, and I was supposed to work in Detroit, and that's only about a 45-minute, an hour trek from Toledo. So that was going to be fine. I was going to be near my kids, and last minute, like a week before my report date, they're like, hey, we don't need you in Detroit. We need you in Marfa, Texas. I'm like, so I'm making phone calls. I'm like, okay, what's the housing situation like? Is there billeting for electricians and mechanics or whatever. Where am I going to live? They just wanted me to report. So I pulled my packet. I'm like, if you guys can't give me any answers, I'm not gonna do it. So I didn't go and work for CBP, but I had some contacts back here in Texas. I'm like, hey, you're looking for any aviation mechanics or avionics mechanics? So I got hired. My old boss, he said, yeah, let's come on back. So I moved back to Texas, and I was alone. My kids were up in Ohio. And I was kind of bummed out.
Some goody powders. My headache's coming back, and it's gonna kill me.
So I was.
Hey, Joe, mute your mic if you're gonna have conversations in the background.
That's why I thought I unmuted it. My bad, Koz.
Everyone, no biggie.
Sorry about your head.
So everyone's got Facebook, right? Facebook was a big thing. It is a big thing. And I ran across the U.S. Army WTF moments. So that's hot. That's kind of like my connection back to the military. And they made an announcement saying, hey, if you're not doing anything tomorrow night, I forget which day it was. It may have been a Thursday. It says this guy named Redleg, he's going to be doing a radio broadcast. It's WTF Nation Radio. I was like, okay, so I'll check it out. And I was hooked, man. Redleg did shows every night. It started off as a couple of days, and then it was like every night. It was just him with a camera and a laptop and a mixing board, and he's playing music and interacting with people, and it started gathering a big following. I was always sending him suggestions, and here's song suggestions, just could you play this for me? And I was moderating the chats, and we were off the chain back then. But it was there was like nudity in the chat rooms, and it was pretty R-rated.
Yeah, it's amazing how you guys got to stay on Facebook with that. I mean, like I said, our page got shut down for saying "Cheers, Devil Dogs" on the Marine Corps birthday is bullying.
Oh gosh, bullying. Oh god.
Yes.
From what I've heard, you guys faced some challenges too in the past, right, with your page and everything.
Somewhat, not so much. I mean, we're pretty well behaved. Kind of, there's that line, and you're just on this side,
teetering a little bit,
just a little bit. And we get every once in a while we'll get like a copyright strike because of music. I'll cross that line, but as long as you're talking over the music, or if you just kind of play less than 30 seconds of a song and then it fades out and you talk over it, then it's more like an intro. And I've been, even bands that we have permission to use their music, we've gotten stricken. And then
wow.
you appeal it, and then of course Ice does all that stuff. He's the guy with the words. So
yeah, Spanky's on the Gruntworks thread. She says hi, and so does the Baconator. You brought your fan group with you.
Awesome.
So Captain Wayne. So hey, thanks for watching, guys, and chiming in. Now you said something interesting, because it's kind of like what we did, why we started this VTT was because of COVID, and there's no more physical therapy, no more behavioral health, nothing like that, even for the active duty guys. And it's like, why don't we just start chatting a little bit, and kind of get that camaraderie back?
Yeah.
And like I said, it blew up. And with WTF, I've always appreciated WTF for the most part, and especially when I was a first sergeant, it's like, why would you get mad in today's society if somebody puts something on social media that shows that you might have a problem? And it's like, it's leadership by position based on leadership by character. So it's like,
it's a really good barometer. It really is a good barometer to see how things are going. If not just your unit, you kind of like, you really don't want to see your unit on there, but if you do, then you're like, okay, now I can take action, or you can affect change in a certain way.
Hey,
specifically, you guys.
I got a question for Koz. Did you see the Dateline that they did on the Vanessa Guillen thing? I recently just saw it, and I was just
Dateline.
Okay, because because of your Fort Hood affiliation, I was wondering, because they basically trash CID at Fort Hood, and I know that there's two sides to every story, but man, they basically talk about it like it was.
There's three sides.
There's that one and the truth, but yeah, they basically said that it was kind of a training unit. They didn't really execute on anything, and it was a bad. Of course, it was Hollywood, so it was a bad look for the Army. But I was just wondering how much of that you thought was BS, and I know a certain percentage of it is going to be. But if you didn't see it,
I can't talk about that. I don't know anything about that podcast.
All right, back to what we were talking about. No, I'm just kidding. No, I do appreciate WTF extremely because, like you guys were saying, it brings some bullshit to the forefront. And I think you guys have done a phenomenal job with really screening the issue before you just throw it out there, man. I could be blind firing right now, but you guys have been good. You know, not just anybody could send something and say, hey, my unit's jacked up, but you guys have been really screening this stuff before you post it. And then, you know, the attention is brought to that unit and it's like, oh shit, something's fucked up. Let's fix it. Or have you guys ever sent stuff that was completely BS? You didn't screen it and just post it.
I think that we're probably guilty of that early on, but we're really, really diligent. I say I'm not really involved in that. Ice and Spanky and
well, nobody knows who's involved in that, right? You guys are all secretive. Yeah, could be. We don't know.
But yeah, everything, you know, it's in our best interest to vet stories and to vet ideas and claims of whatever misuse or abuse or whatever. It does nobody any good if you're starting to chase lies and gross exaggerations. It makes you look like an idiot. So yeah, we have our due diligence.
Nice. So Koz, tell me I'll put you on a spot here a little bit. What's your favorite show you've ever done or guest, or what really brings it home?
For me, I don't know if I've got a favorite show yet. I really enjoyed, we had CT Fletcher on, and that was really awesome. And Randy Couture, we've had Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy was probably the funnest guest that we've had, because that guy is off the hook.
He's a wild man.
He is.
I've never lost to him, by the way.
But there's so many. There's different calibers. We have, you know, when bands come on, and I enjoy music, and I enjoy good music even more. And having bands like Assuming We Survive, you know, being with them in Colorado during the Freedom On Fest a few years back was great. Just a great group of guys. You know, Adrian Estrella is the lead singer of it. He's an old Black Hawk mechanic, and now he's in a badass band, and allowing us to use his music. It's a little bit of everything. There's little things that I like about every show. Last night we talked with Rodney Henry from Post 6770 in New Richmond, Ohio. I'm doing this from memory, but just talking about good people that do good things, especially good things for the veteran community. You know, he's the VFW post commander down there. They're having a huge Freedom Fest 2021 next weekend, and we talked about it for a while. He couldn't spend the entire hour with us because he was busy, and he said his wife was getting irritated, so he had to, you know, they're getting ready for their big thing next week, so of course she wanted to go home. But yes, it's little parts of every show that I like.
Perfect. Yeah. I'm a big fan of, you know, with Spanky and Ice, when you're watching it on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I believe it's Tuesdays and Wednesdays, or just Tuesdays?
Tuesdays and Thursdays. Mondays and Thursdays for them.
Okay, Mondays and Thursdays. Okay, yeah. And then the Friday Night Freedom, like I said, I get on there, and usually, like I said, I usually just yell at Recruiter Times and then try to make some sarcastic comments to get the engagements going. But I've noticed that on your show, especially like times when you address issues and you get people to actually call in, and just, I wish more civilians would pay attention to that, to where it's like, this is what we actually have to deal with. Somebody asking this question. Now, is it a burden to deal with it? No, because they're soldiers, right? But it's like, that's literally what we have to work on. So I guess what I'm leading in with that one is like, what do you get out of the show as far as like helping soldiers out and still doing that? What is that? I mean, I probably know the answer, but for the people watching that might want to tune in, you know, that haven't seen your show.
I kind of go back to when I got interested and attached to the show. The reason I was looking for some kind, you know, I'm in a new city, don't have any more friends. My family's, you know, 1,000 miles away. I was looking for something to grab onto, something familiar. And that's when I got in with WTF Nation Radio. And it was something that was very familiar. And I like that. I didn't get out of the military because I hated it. So I've got this connection with the military. I've been working on military programs ever since I got out. I absolutely love the military, and I love the camaraderie And I was looking for somebody just to chat with. 99% of the people I've never met face to face, but we have a connection, just being veterans. So whenever we do shows, what we want to bring to the audience is just, we're a family. So, we get not text messages, but messages through our Facebook page. And it's just, it's like we're old buddies. It's just having that commonality thing, because no one likes to feel like a fish out of water. So, as far as the WTF Nation as a whole, it's just, it's everything is familiar, and there's really no strangers there. Everyone's got a common, we've all been through basic training, and it's not everybody that is a member of the WTF Nation is a veteran. Sometimes this, like, my dad or my brother was a veteran, or my spouse is active duty, and they want to be involved in their lives of the people that they love. So this is a good way to do it as well.
Yeah, right. That's a good kind of segue into what I was going to talk about as well. And we try to learn from the big players. And you guys are you're on the forefront of the military family coming together outside of actually the military, and using social media as a platform to help. And 100% it's a help. Hey, Joe, you got some birds back there.
Let me mute them.
Oh, this will go down in the record books for Joe. I'll give you a foul ball on that one. You're still at strike 2. That wasn't really your fault. That's nature. So, but
hey man, I'm traveling with a 4-month-old. You got to give me a break. That's my excuse.
Really. You made that decision. All right.
So that's my excuse. Plus, we got hit by 5 days of fucking rain, and everybody's internet up here sucks right now. So doing what we can.
Yeah, so we're learning from WTF and getting some good pointers. So thanks for coming on as well, because again, that helps us, and just to pick the brains of the guys and girls that have been doing it before us, and learning from some of the best. So we really appreciate having you on. And you brought up the thing about how you love the military, and I've talked about this a few times on the show, and it's like I get kind of triggered when I have to sit through the Your Voice Matters meetings. Right, I get kind of triggered when I have to sit through some of this training, and I'm like, who needs this? Like, what unit are you in that you need to have a set time to allow your soldiers to talk, and voice their opinion? Like, your voice matters. I'm sitting here like, sharpen EO. The reason why I got triggered by this was because I saw some educated people on my Facebook thread. Now, Koz is Facebook friends with me, so he sees that I am a Facebook terrorist. I literally put about 10% of truth into my posts and just let it fly. And then,
terrorist mouthpiece. He's the terrorist mouthpiece of the Southwest, Koz.
So, but I actually get triggered when I see educated people that aren't trolls. They're not trying to get people's they're not trying to get a rise out of people. They're literally believing what they're saying, and I'm like, man, damn it, and now I'm getting triggered, and so they effectively trolled me, not even trying to. But I saw a post, when we talk about what General Milley said, all right, about critical race theory. Okay, and I always bring up the bell curve, and Perry, I don't give a shit if you can't see the bell curve on the podcast. Okay, so but you can see that it's a bell curve, all right. So you got idiots over here and idiots over here and idiots everybody else, right? And then some people just takes one thing to set them off to go the other direction. Okay, if you read what General Milley said, if you listened to what General Milley said, he said nothing wrong. All right, and he wasn't brown nosing his boss, which again, we've said this on the show. If you're a general and you don't agree with the president, your letter of resignation comes in right after it. Okay. And he might say, no, you're good. You can keep your job. I like that. Or he's going to be like, yeah, bye. All right. And it's like, because that's the commander in chief, and the generals, guess who they work for? All right. So and he made a statement about it's important to study theories. Okay. It's important to study critical race theory in the DOD. Okay. So right away, the far right, they lose their shit about, oh, what is wokeness? Oh, we can't have this shit. We lose our lethality, right? And then you got the far left now. So like I said, these are some educated people coming here saying, see, even General Milley says that critical race, like there's systematic racism in the DOD. No, that's not what he said. It's like, it doesn't hurt anybody to study it. All right. So those, like when Koz was in back in the day, and then when I first got in and when I first got blown up, guess what wasn't a thing? TBI. It wasn't even a thing yet. Right. And so what did the military do? They paired up with the NFL and they studied some theories. Right. And then they're coming up with solutions. Okay. And I'll kind of end it here pretty quickly, but then we can continue the conversation, see what Koz wants to think about this. But when I was in charge of a unit, all right, when I was a first sergeant, I didn't think that we really needed EO and sharp training. All right. What I thought we needed was just making sure everybody understood how to report it and like what the steps were. Because I always told Joe, I was like, I will stand up in front of a formation and say, if I find out that you hurt one of my family members, I'll fucking kill you. Right. And then like in the infantry, in a squad, it's so easy to find out when someone sucks. Right. And it's like this guy's a racist. Let's go kick the shit out of him. And not only are we going to kick the shit out of him, then we're going to kick him out. Right. So he's going to leave with 2 less teeth and a broken jaw. And he's getting chapped. He's like, what the fuck just happened to me? Well, maybe you shouldn't have said what you just said to that guy. Okay. It's like, so I got it. That's not the answer to beat everybody up. All right. But again, like Buddy always says, is where are the NCOs? Where are the sergeants in these units that suck? It's like, how do they not know something's wrong? Because again, maybe it's like I said, leadership by position or leadership by character. You can grow in each, right? And I had to grow in mine. I did a lot of immature, stupid shit as a young E5, E6, and even as a first sergeant, I said things I probably shouldn't have said. I know I did because they got investigated. But anyways, like, so it's like, but again, I'm like, oh, fuck, I really pissed that dude off, you know? And it was like, hey, man, come in the office. I apologize, bro. Like, dude, I just, sorry, you know, whatever. But now like I said, I don't want to get into where I work now. People do know where I work now, but I'm talking about the DA civilians. All right. And you 100% need the training with the DA civilians.
Really?
Like, yeah, where I work now, let's just say.
You're saying sharp and EO, Nick?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So when you see like a brand new female get hired, civilian, right? All of a sudden there's like fucking 20 people around your office that you never fucking seen before, you know? And you're sitting there like, huh, what are you doing over here? You know? And then when I first got there, I literally got instructed by somebody who's retired now. It says, hey, you need to go over there every 2 or 3 hours and make sure nobody's messing with her. You know, and I'm sitting here like, how is that the plan of action? Like
go check every 3 hours.
Like, what? Why isn't the plan of action? We make a policy that says stay the fuck out of there, right? Like, and then you fire people.
No, let's go to her office every 3 hours and be like, has it happened yet? Has it happened yet?
Had you get raped yet?
Let's make her real comfortable.
Is that an NCO Yarborough as an additional duty?
Yeah, additional duty, rape preventer. You know,
yeah.
Like, so
why didn't you do your Firewatch rape prevention last night?
So again, I don't say that we don't need the training. All right, the training is 100% necessary, especially when it comes to, remember, systemic racism is not a real term yet. Okay, it's a made up thing. It's not accepted by academia because racism is an individual act. All right, so when you say systematic, you now group everything together. All right, it's literally not accepted yet. So that's why it's a theory. All right, so like they're going to study it. Now, like Koz said, I love the military. I love everybody in the freaking military. And so, especially in the Army. But when you hurt my Army, I am coming down on you as hard as I possibly can. Like, period. Now, if you make a mistake, that's different. But if you're a bad person, like, I am coming after you. And I will make sure that you do not mess with what I love. And when I got to a non-combat unit for the first time, I finally saw, and this is where I'll turn over you guys, I saw people, soldiers, treated like employees, to where they were running to the ground and they didn't even get time to do PT. right? They had to sit there and be mindless. Be there from 8 to 5 and just fucking sit there. If nobody's sitting there, like now we have a problem. Like, and I'm sitting here like, how's this a problem? I'm like, these 3 guys are fat. They need to go do PT. So they're released at 2 every day. And they're going to go do PT. Like what? No, like, no, they got to be in there. No, these guys are soldiers, right? This is an artilleryman and a forward observer and an 11 Bravo. Yeah, I got it. The Army put them over here, but that they still have to progress. They still have to go do their job after this. It's like, so that's when I was like, that is what the Voice Matters training is for. I understand now, because when I was in charge, everybody's fucking voice mattered, whether I listened to it or not, still mattered, right? So, Koz, what do you got on that? What do you got with what General Milley said? Do you think there was anything wrong with what he said? And do you think that, again, there isn't a critical race theory problem in the Army, but they're just studying it? That's what I got from it. So what did you get from that?
It's critical race theory.
Yeah.
It's not, it doesn't make policy. It's always good to look at every aspect of everything that affects us as service members. The culture in the military has changed a lot since I got out. Even when I went and contracted over in Iraq for a year, and of course we were assigned to a cav unit. I worked on OH-58 Deltas. So we were with units, and this is, I got out in 96, this was 2011. And just to see the difference, the way that the soldiers are treated, and with my old eyes saying, if I was ever, I'd punch that motherfucker in the mouth. You don't talk to me like that. And it was just, there was a lot of I don't know how to explain it. It's just, you don't talk to people the way that these people were talking to their soldiers. E6 is talking to their E4s and below, basically scaring the shit out of them. I don't like that. I'm not sure if that's rampant right now. But as far so you're, what were you saying, Nick, about your voice matters? Is that like a mandatory open door meeting?
Right. It's DOD directed. You have to have a session to where you usually knock out your sharp and EO training same day, right? The way you find out to do that. And then you have to have your voice matters to where you can say whatever you want, right? Obviously the military bearing still applies, but like you can say, hey, how come I have to do this? And again, I never understood why we had to have that kind of training until I got to places where you get told to still shut up and color, like continuously, like, and then they give you the core competencies that you need to be successful. And I'm pretty sure one of those is critical thinking, and it's like, but you're telling these E6s, these young guys, to shut the fuck up and just color. You just for 2 or 3 years, you shut down all of their thinking capabilities, but yeah, that's what I was talking about, that your voice matters training, like to where, hey, you get to talk now. Like,
so you can question policy without repercussion.
Correct.
I mean, that's what sensing sessions are for too, and they've been around forever. So I mean, but again, it goes back to what you said, Nick. If the NCOs in that unit don't give a shit and their soldiers actually don't have a say, then they're also not the ones who are going to, do a sensing session for these soldiers to actually talk about it. So I think it might be a good policy. Maybe some shit will be uncovered, And
like I said, I would have laughed at it in all my previous units because, like I said, our voices already mattered.
Is that something new, or has that been around for a while?
No, it's new. It's about 6 months old.
Okay.
I'd say about 6 months, Dave. Yeah.
I think it'll take soldiers a little bit of time to go, oh, he's asking me my opinion and he wants that.
He wants to hear it.
I think it'll take.
Is that okay?
Right?
Can I really say it? Yeah.
Is this a trap?
Yeah.
I think it'll take a while.
That's what it is too. That it's that mentality. It's just like veterans not wanting to talk about combat or talking about PTSD. It's the same stigma in these. Now, I want to say, I'm sure there's some infantry units that are piss poor like that, but I haven't ran into one yet. But the POG units, it's where it's like, and everyone always wants to say toxic leader when they don't like a leader. Like the leader's toxic.
It's the number one thing to go to. He's making me do my job. He's making me do my job. He's toxic.
It's not toxic. But when I became an HHC first sergeant, and I now finally had a lot of non-combat MOSs, that worked for me, I was starting to get into the, to the weeds a little bit. Like, hey man, what's your problem? Like, why is your platoon sergeant struggling? You guys are staff sergeants. Like, you guys are, she should not be having this problem. So now I'm starting to get after these staff sergeants. And then I get into the weeds and I'm like, wait, when were you ever on the line? Oh, this is my first time, first sergeant. What? And I'm like, now I got to bring all the other first sergeants in. Like, hey, look, man, you're not going to get any help from this group. Like, I need to work with these guys. Like, don't ask for new guys. Don't ask for replacements because they're getting the best training that they can. Now, because I'll say they were medics, right? And so these E6 medics were in a hospital for 9 years. And now they're in an infantry battalion supposed to train combat lifesavers and train line medics. It's like, bro, you were never even a line medic. Like, you have no idea how fast the light infantry platoon moves. That medic has to move that fast. Like, and so they get really upset when they can't. And then they want a new one.
Who's the first guy you think of when you think of a combat medic, Nick?
Oh, Doc Esser.
Doc Esser, man. I tell you, I was standing over him, Koz, when that man brushed back a mob of Iraqi police and helped and saved a guy's life who took a round off the wall to the chest. And Arthur was slapping guys and backing them up. And Doc was like, get them away, and just went to work. And I was blown away. Because in that moment, you're just like, all right, I'll pull security. And he's thinking about the next step to save this guy. And he actually pulled it off. So there, yeah, what Nick was talking about, like that was the standard that we saw. And tough standard to meet because Doc was incredible. But it takes an incredible dude to be a combat line infantry medic. It's an amazing thing to watch.
That's awesome.
Right.
Your instincts kick in and you just go to work regardless of what's around you.
It was unbelievable, man. He was like cool breeze, just went in there, let me go to work. And
I do have metal door fragments in my face from Doc Esser though, because somebody decided to give him the shotgun. So when they said I need a breach, he ran up there and shot the door when I was standing right there, and I was like, damn it, Doc.
Yep. Why are you breaching the door, bro?
Yeah.
He winged you.
Yeah. But
he just got excited. He got excited.
Yeah. So again, that's where I learned a lot as a first sergeant. I made a lot of mistakes. All right. And I learned from those. Again, there's that one TED talker that says you should be praised for failure as long as you're trying, and it's like, you start learning about your soldiers, and as HHC, you got 230 of them, right? It's a lot, right? So it's like, I'm not going to have the time to get everybody's, but when you're getting down in the nitty gritty of the problem, then I start referencing like doctrine for the medical platoon. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. My whole career, the platoons, every medical platoon was run the same, and it was completely wrong. All right. The PA, what do you think the PA's job is in a medical platoon? Anyone. I'll throw that answer up there.
Drink coffee.
Yeah, that's what they do.
The PA's job is he's over the medics, right? He's over the line medics.
Right. So who's the PL of a medical platoon?
Well, my guess is the PA.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be, but they always make the meadow, right? The meadow is the PL. The meadow is a logistics expert for, hey, how many more tourniquets do I have to order? Okay. That is what the meadow does. The PA is in charge of,
like an Excel.
Yes. Yep. The PA is the one that is supposed to train the medics, rotate them out on their triage teams. So they go from the line to the triage teams. And then when you set up your roll 1 and roll 2s, like he can have a team at any time come with him because he's trained all of them. Right. And so a lot of the training and the responsibility gets taken away from the PA and it gets put on the meadow. And the meadow doesn't have any fucking medical background, right? Like your basic CLS qualified E4 has more medical training than the fucking meadow, right? And it's like,
that's insanity. I mean, just coming from the deployment that we were on, that's nuts.
Yeah, it absolutely was insane, right? And so thank God, Sergeant Major Wise, who just got promoted, I put his promotion on Gruntworks and VTT. He came to Hawaii when I was there, and I was like, bro, can you come to the field for like 2 days? And he's like, man, I'm done with the field. I'm like, no, I need you to come out to the field.
That dude was the real deal, man. Still is.
Yeah. And he came out there and he squared that fucking roll 2 away. Like He's like, look, man, he's like, when we were, roll 2 in Iraq in Samara, we were running 20 to 30 casualties a day, homie. Like, you got to be able to, mostly we're Iraqis and stuff like that. But yeah, I get a little long-winded. I know Dave gets upset, but again, it's also,
Nick, I love you, Nick. Come on, man.
It's also my therapy as well, because this is kind of on my chest, because I really can't stand for when soldiers get treated like employees. And I know that some people at my work watch this. I know a lot of people do, actually. And you can come at me on Monday. All right. You can be like, you shouldn't have said that. All right. And I'm going to say, well, if you want to actually talk about it, let's do it. Let's
be a leader, not a boss.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. And that's a weird dynamic, because I don't know if you guys ever get into it, but the whole DA civilian in charge of green suiters. Okay. It's a tough dynamic that I just freaking got into, and I finally figured it out. But have you ever got into anything about that, or people talking about that stuff on WTF?
No, I can actually say no. I don't think that's ever been discussed. I've never had that experience when I was in. We had a lot of technical representation from vendors like Collins Aerospace. They would have a guy, or someone from Bendix would be there, just as a technical liaison for equipment that we've installed on helicopters, that, to make sure everybody's trained up on how to repair, but never a DA civilian.
Yeah, that'd be something that would be cool to see the pressure from WTF get on, because that's a problem. And again, what I will say bad about WTF, which goes across the board for most sites, including ours, to where the linear, like I always say, the linear problem solver, to where it's like, this is why soldiers kill themselves. It's like, now there's hundreds of reasons why, if not thousands. Like, it's a system problem. All right. And so it's like, there are things that if we, with our new sponsor with, the Veterans Mortgage Source, just that peace of mind that, hey, some guys don't know that your credit score really doesn't matter for a VA loan, right? So it's like just that ease on a veteran, knowing that, oh shit, I can buy a house. Yes, you can, right? Like, and it's like just all that shit. It bothers me when I see like this is why things happen. This is it. So again, the voice matters. There's lots of things why it's important. But this is just one of those things in the system. Is the DA civilian is a union employee. Yep. Okay, the DA civilian has to work the hours they have a day. Right? Now, when you have the mixture of DA civilians with a sergeant major with some green suiters under them, right, or even some officers above them, if that's the case, that DA civilian is actually put in a position where they are the raider for 2 or 3 soldiers. And it's like that DA civilian who in their first year of probation and or trying to get to a GS9, there are no waves. Like they make 0 waves. And it's almost like they will make soldiers do things that they are not allowed to do. Like, hey, you guys need to come in on Saturday and Sunday and do this. I won't be here though, because I can't work on the weekends. It's against my union. And it's like, what? like who said yes to that? I got caught hot micing in a training meeting. It was great because it was on MS Teams. And I'm looking at this calendar and I turn around and look at my guys. I go, what fucking moron did that? And I hear, hey, Matt Start, you're hot micing. I was like, whoever did it's still a moron, and I muted it, right? And of course I got counseled for that, but it's again, you ask these soldiers to do things without, and they literally have 0 say. So I'd be curious to watch WTF maybe like get some like, hey, what's up with the DA civilian corps? Like what do you think their responsibilities are? Like those kind of questions. Like if you're put in charge of soldiers, you do know that like you're kind of back in the army again. Like it sucks that you're out, but yeah.
So we
guys,
should, yeah. So we launched like a DA civilian WTF moments. Because there are probably some very, very competent DA civilians out there that do a fantastic job.
Oh, tremendous. Yes.
100%.
Like my old boss, he came in and redid all kinds of stuff that when he was a first sergeant in the Army, he hated. So he got smart, got educated, got some degrees, came back in the DA civilian side and was able to implement the shit that he hated as a first sergeant and made everybody's life easier. So it's like those, like,
The key is as long as they don't forget where they came from, you know, once they become a DA civilian, because they do have that luxury to work 9 to 5 in their set hours. And the way they apply themselves at work. I work with DA civilians a lot in battalion operations, things of that nature. Those guys are all retired first sergeants, retired sergeant majors, and they're great. They're great.
Yeah.
So what you've experienced, like making them come in on Saturdays and stuff, I mean, it's probably happening, and a lot of that is happening. So that would be really interesting to like kind of attack that angle and see what comes from it. Yeah.
But yeah, Koz, what else you got for us? You mentioned Rodney doing his thing in Ohio, right? So go on and check the show, and again, put out a plug for Friday Night Freedom again, and you know, just again, I kind of took a little bit of the floor from you because I do that once in a while, but talk about whatever you want to chat about.
So Friday Night Freedom, of course. I do that every Friday. Me and Pookie. If you guys have ever talked with Pookie, that guy's a trip, man. We do about a 2-hour show with a break in the middle. I like to keep it light. I talk about what I try to find is news stories that kind of fly under the radar, that are important, that just for one reason or another, like McAfee's death, his suicide, it kind of didn't really make the news. It made the news, obviously, but it was not. It's not above the fold. It's just kind of. It's almost mentioned like an afterthought.
Don't talk about it. You're going to get suicided as well. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but one thing.
Aliens.
I haven't read up on it yet, but everybody's talking about the buildings in Miami that collapsed or whatever. Did he really own an apartment in that building, or is that just all fucking crazy? Because I haven't looked into it, but
I've heard rumors that he owned space in that condo. I heard that his brother Patrick actually lived there. There's all kinds of things, just all these rumors, and I'm just like, I'm going to give it about a week or two, let the dust settle, and then the facts are going to emerge.
And then he did tweet, right? Like he did tweet a couple days prior, like he's good to go, he's happy, I'm in a good mood, I'm in a good place.
I've got friends here, the food's good, I'm not suicidal, and if I die a la Epstein, then I didn't do it.
Oh,
nuts.
God. I don't know.
Yeah. So, and again, if we want to talk conspiracy, because again, every conspiracy needs a little bit of truth. It's kind of like my Facebook post. I got to put a little truth in there to get people to actually talk about it. Yeah. But I said right away, as I go, you know what, the president is having a really rough time, even with Democrats, because the Democrats control everything right now. And it's like, he's having a really tough time passing his infrastructure bill because he's not even getting all the support in the Senate, even from some Democrats. So you have this $9 trillion infrastructure bill to help build buildings and roads.
So where you're going at.
And then all of a sudden a bridge fucking collapses and a building collapses, and all CBS is talking about is the infrastructure bill. It's like, I mean, come on.
Not like $9 trillion would keep that building from falling down or that bridge from failing.
Right. Anybody who's
Everyone's
been
got
to
their hand
Florida,
out. All these politicians have their hand out.
Yeah.
Like infrastructure. Everything's labeled infrastructure now. Give me money.
Yeah. So I don't know.
In the end, it was all aliens anyway. So that's just what it is. Which I'm still waiting for the Pentagon to announce their thing. You know, it was supposed to come out on the 22nd. I still haven't heard anything.
Have you lost sleep over it, Dave?
I have not. I'm just extremely excited. There's a
UFOs are unidentified flying objects.
Correct.
Dave.
And there's a different name for it. USP or whatever they're called. Yeah. There's a different name for it.
We do need to get some people on the show that want to talk about like aliens and shit. That'd be fun.
Hell yeah.
You guys ought to hook up with Pookie, man. He's got several different tinfoil hats.
Nice. Get him on here. I think, hey, fake Asian in the back. Are we not live right now? You can come on, say hi. He's probably drunk. Is it? Okay, I just came back. Perfect. All right. So anyways, those of you, that's the baker, we call him.
UAP. What's UAP? Veterans Action Council over in the YouTube chat said UAP. Unidentified aerial
phenomena. Yeah.
Well,
Nick says it's the Chinese or the Russians, which I don't think it is.
Or us. Right. So like
us definitely. I'm
in El Paso where every freaking Friday night when artillery is launching Illume rounds, like the news goes nuts about these lights that are shining so bright in the distance and then they disappear. I'm like, that's 1AD. doing training, but it's okay. But
it was how quickly it disappeared, Nick. Though it wasn't of this planet.
Like flares
again. Illumination rounds. So it's like I'm sitting here in my backyard, and I look up, right, and I'm like I said, I'm right next to New Mexico.
Yeah,
right?
Roswell's right up the road.
Yeah, and White Sands, so I see this freaking thing up in the sky going fast as fuck, like not, like holy cow. And then I hear, and I look up. There's 2 fighter jets that are not even close to catching up to it. So are those 2 fighter jets escorting it, or
you saw this, Nick?
Yes.
Yeah. I think the biggest case is the one that happened in San Diego, which everybody is talking about, that the Pentagon actually announced, where the Navy fighter pilots saw that shit that I think it shot out of the ocean or something. I don't know the full story, but they were chasing these orbs that were flying around and then just took off into like fucking space. And the Pentagon fully like briefed everybody and said, hey, we don't know what it was. We don't know what it was. So who knows?
Because everybody was concerned about COVID. So it was the perfect time to just.
If they would have started announcing this shit,
it was because of COVID.
Yeah, no, if they would have started announcing this crap five years ago, the public would be in much more uproar and be way more interested. And I think we've been so desensitized. Like, we're not even like talking about it. Like, it's not a big deal, like, okay, cool. Maybe it is aliens. 4 or 5 years ago, people would have been like, holy fuck, this is happening. Really? I don't know. It's just a weird time.
Well, that was when Independence Day came out. So
yeah, Joe,
no,
never know.
Am I wrong?
I'm not going to put on my tinfoil hat.
I'm just saying it's like a cult classic or Signs.
They're just showing up for some of that infrastructure money. That's all it is.
That's all it is. Yeah.
No, but I'm glad you brought up the money thing and the politician hands out. And that's another thing I hope that the community is paying attention to is your right as a citizen. Like your right to actually, same thing in the Army with your voice matters. Your voice matters in politics too. It doesn't matter to Joe Biden, okay? Joe Biden doesn't give a shit. He's not supposed to give a shit what Joe Snuffy thinks about, all right? But who is supposed to care is your congressman, your state congressman, your state senator, all that stuff, right? You can go talk to them, okay? But they, like Koz said, they got their hands out, okay? And the worst thing that you can possibly say as a civilian in the United States of America is that congressman is my leader. Right? Like, that is like the worst thing you can say. Now, is a leader a congressman? Maybe. Right? But it's like, no, they literally work for you. Like, you're supposed to be in charge of them.
They're a representative. They represent you and your interests.
So I'm like, let's stop you right there when you call them a leader. That just shows me how dumb, like, you don't understand, freedom. But it's like, that's cool. But that being said, kind of going back to the Book of Earl with, it always comes back to stop being a triggered pansy. It's like, don't be a triggered pansy. It's okay to get triggered, but fucking stop being a pansy. A lot of the problems in the DOD and the military, there are policies against all of them. Okay. It's a microcosm of the United States. So when you get these people in from all over the world that Dave doesn't screen, and he just throws them in, he signs them up because Dave's a recruiter, and then Recruiter Times does a story about him because they're letting in all these assholes. But
how fast can you sign the paperwork?
Yeah, how fast can you sign the paperwork and get in? All right, I just want to go home on the weekend. All right, so it's like, yeah.
I'm going to Vegas. Come on.
We get racist kids in the Army.
Of course.
All right, we get them. And it's our job. It's our job to either coach them or get them out.
Or get them out.
And I'll tell the fucking story again with the douchebag. I'll say his name, fucking Chapels. Remember that douchebag? Right? Yep. That was a racist redneck motherfucker. Right. And I just got promoted to E5. All right. And we're in a patrol base, got a little bit of internet here and there. And Chapels turns around and goes, well, look at that damn spear chucker. Right. And
he was a problem, man.
Like, right. There was an outside voice. He said that.
Right. And there was a black guy right next to him. Right. And as an E4, it was our Doc Fuller.
Oh,
so Doc Fuller is looking at me. And I go, he wants me to do something. I just got made E5. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, I gotta do something too, I think. So
you're in that position. You heard it.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, I should have been done something about his E4 too, or E3. But anyways,
that's the problem. Everybody should do something about it.
Everybody should do something.
In that moment, you had to show him that you were his leader. I mean, Doc Fuller was a good dude, man.
Right. I looked right at Fuller and I said, with that douchebag right there, I go, what do you want me to do? I go, I'll close this door and you can beat the living shit out of him and fucking I'll counsel him for being a racist after it. I go, or you can let it go for now and I'll make sure he's gone out of the fucking army. Like, up to you. And he goes, kick this motherfucker out. And he walks out. I was like, okay. And Japles was gone. Like, it's like, that was a racist motherfucker, you know? And it was like, how do you not know your soldiers? Like, and like Koz coming from Fort Hood, not all Fort Hood's bad. Like, and they get the bad rap and everybody's like, oh, read the report. Hashtag the report. Sergeant Major Army's all over the fucking place. Read the report. Still, the report does fucking nothing. And it doesn't fucking really get down to it to where it's like, no, look, man, there needs to be a serious change about how NCOs are promoted. Because the NCOs, the policies that officers fucking sign are already saying don't be racist. Don't rape people. All that shit, they're fucking laws, right? Where are the NCOs that are doing that? So that's why I challenge you, instead of getting triggered, and like Joe said in the beginning of his, I try to always come back to what Joe talks about or Buddy talks about is, you know, if you got a problem, own it. All right, own it and do something about it. Put your fucking foot in the game. All right, 22 push-ups for suicide is cool, but be a part of a community that actually stops soldiers from killing themselves. WTF's one of those organizations. VTT's one of those organizations, right? Be a part of something.
Take those phone calls in the middle of the night when you've got a baby barely sleeping in the next room and talk for 5 hours because your brother needs you. Right. You know, if you're part of the solution, do it. Don't just talk about it.
And the push-ups are great, you know, and it's like, you know, we brought on Greg Washington. I want to keep calling him George every time because it's almost July 4th. But, you know, Greg Washington came on and he's walking 1,800 miles for awareness. And it's like, great. And then we brought JC Glick on and he's like, okay, how can I actually put what you're doing to action? Like, okay, I've got awareness, but what the fuck are we going to do about it? So, Koz, we'll give you the last word before Dave closes this out. And it was an absolute pleasure. Like I said, we pay a lot of attention to you guys because you're the daddies right now, but and we got to figure out, and the mamas, and we got to figure out how you guys are doing it and how you're so successful. So really appreciate you coming on and all the work you do for veterans and for active duty. So get the last word and Dave can close us out.
Well, thank you very much for having me on. It's really great to meet all of y'all. I really do appreciate being here. You guys do a lot of great work, man. I like the candid conversation. You guys do a fantastic job. As far as me, my show's on Friday on WTF Nation Radio, Facebook, but we have shows a couple times a week. We have a Monday night show with ICE, Tuesday with CQ, Thursday back with ICE, and then Friday with me. Hopefully we'll be expanding. We used to try to do 7 days a week, and that was just too much. So we scaled it back. Maybe we'll build back up sometime in the near future. We always love having guests. We always like to hear the suggestions of people that people would like for us to talk to.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Koz. It's been our pleasure.
Thanks for
I
having me.
appreciate your cause. Definitely a pleasure. And let's talk to your buddy who likes to wear tinfoil hats. I'd love to
get him on the show. Get him on the show.
Like maybe we can do a show on your show or whatever, your platform. I'd love to get into some of that.
I'll have him send you a message.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Let's do that.
We'll
hey, to all the viewers, Gruntworks viewers and Veteran Trash Talk viewers, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you go to veterantrashtalk.com. All right, it has all the plugs to all of our platforms. Shop.veterantrashtalk.com has all of our awesome merch. And then remember, part of our proceeds go to Stop Soldier Suicide, we're partnered with. Happy Saturday. We'll catch you next weekend. Boom.
Where do we turn to, veteran trash talk? Where do we turn to, veteran trash talk? Where do we turn to, veteran trash talk? Bravely every morning. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bravely every morning. One day I'm okay, next day darkness. One day I'm okay, next day dark. next day, darkness bravely every morn. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises bravely every morning. Past is the past, so be forgiven. The past is the past, so be forgiven. The past is the past, so be forgiven bravely every morning. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises bravely every morning. Let's fight, don't quit, call that in order. Let's fight, don't quit, call that in order. Let's fight, don't quit, call that in order bravely every morning. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises bravely every morning. Raise a glass for those we're missing. Raise a glass for those we're missing. Raise a glass for those we're missing bravely every morning. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises. Bad days, good days, up we rises bravely every morning. That's what we do in veteran trash talk. That's what we do in veteran trash talk. That's what we do in veteran trash talk bravely every morning.